This is a Frank podcast.
To the Extremely Casual Gamers podcast with Ellie, Chris and Guy. This is a casual gaming podcast for the everyday gamer. Today on the show, Guy wants to know about the age of current gamers. Is that correct? Hi, Guy.
Hello.
Yeah, hello there. So I didn't really say hi to you, did I?
I'm no longer infectious.
Yay, Guy's back.
In the lungs.
Should have said that. Yeah.
In the lungs, other areas.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Not so
yeah.
much.
Yeah,
Yes.
all right.
But yes,
Well,
I do want to talk about the
back.
age of gaming and gamers.
Lovely. Chris, you want to discuss the process of rage quitting?
Well, this is something that a good friend of mine, Pugs, brought up. Because I was like, hey, man, like, if you ever have any ideas for the podcast, he's like, can you talk about rage quitting?
Okay.
Because he rage quit the other day because he was playing Elden Ring.
Yes.
And it was just like, that's something I'd like to delve into, the
Yeah.
different ways people rage quit and why they rage quit. So you might be listening, you might think, hey, that's me, that one there.
Okay. Well, that sounds deep. I'm looking forward to that. We've also got the winner of our Facebook group naming competition.
Oh, yes.
We'll talk about that soon. And then I also just have a little update about my stray journey, which I'm sure we're all really excited. I've got basically a question to pose to you about it.
Okay, as long as you know that the answer to that question is yes, you have 1 week left until your full-on review
I know.
of Stray.
I'm very
Remember,
aware of
it's
that.
a 60-second review in this podcast and
Yep.
then a standalone episode with a minimum of 8 minutes.
11 minutes, the bar was set by Guy with Helldivers 2.
So now it's 11. I have to do
No,
11.
that was just...
That was the mark.
okay.
If you want to
Got you.
say you've did a better one than me, then that's
So
up
I'm
to
going
you.
to do 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. No, don't worry, team.
Okay, I'm excited for that.
See what happens. But I'll ask you that question later. We'll just quick. What?
That was good.
I just had a brain fart. I was trying to say, should we crack into some listener feedback? But
Absolutely.
then I didn't say
Yes.
that.
Boom.
Nice, yes.
That actually scared the shit out of me, just FYI. I was not ready for that. It sounded like a car was hurtling into the studio just then.
Today. First of all, Johnny messaged us and he has said that he's been officially influenced by Chris and Guy. He never would have done it if it wasn't for you, but he's downloaded Helldivers too.
Hey,
Yes.
Johnny.
Welcome to the fight.
Hell yeah, baby.
Yes.
Actually, we even had, oh my God, they've got June on DVD. I might borrow that. Sorry, just distracted by the bookshelf behind Ellie there. We had a great session just last night, actually. And the thing I'm loving about Helldivers, and Johnny, you'll find this out too, is you go online with your mates, and I think we did like 2 or 3 games. We won every game.
Yeah.
It was exciting. And then just as you're starting to think this is too easy, you can crank it up a notch, all these difficulties. And instead of being like, I'm ending on a loss, I feel angry.
Okay.
So that's what's really lovely about it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
good.
doing really well as well in terms of its concurrent players,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
excellent.
got a fantastic community, and also there's a patch update coming out soon with some cool additions. So good time to jump in.
Awesome. And Johnny also wanted to know from us three, what are our favourite games that are based off TV shows? So not the other way around, but like Simpsons Hit and Run was obviously like a big one. That's
a standout.
any that you liked or spring to
TV
mind?
show games. I can't even think of
No.
any right now.
I mean,
Yeah.
off the top of my head, I'm just thinking of Simpsons. There was a PC game called like Simpsons Cartoon Simulator where you would just make like cartoon strips. It was on PC in like 2001. I remember sinking a lot of hours into that.
Oh, okay.
But in terms of a TV show,
I wish I'd played South Park: The Stick of Destiny. I heard that was excellent.
Oh, okay.
But I never played it. I literally can't think of any. Please
no, I
message us.
couldn't really either. I was like, I don't think I've got
TV
Sorry,
an
Johnny.
answer for that. Yeah. But Johnny loves 24, the game. What's that?
what about Pokemon?
Oh, that's
Well, it's because
That's
the
a really
TV
good
show is
way around.
based off the game guy.
It was the other way around.
Man.
Oh, yeah, is that
Filthy
right?
casual. you extremely casual gamer. How dare you?
Johnny said he chimed in with he loves 24, the game, and played it recently for the nostalgia feels. Have you ever played
nice.
that?
Okay.
Kiefer Sutherland. Very good.
There
very
you
good.
go.
I've never played the game. It sounds good.
Okay, well, thanks for your input, Johnny. That was
Country Calendar, the game. That's right. I clocked that.
is that a thing?
Nah.
Fun though, that would be fun.
Did you actually buy that?
Yes.
Well, I didn't know.
It was another Mothman.
Yes, I did not fall for Mothman. I
You
would go in my
totally
grave.
did.
I would go in my grave with that. But I did fall for that one. I wish there was a little.
It'd be like
calendar thing.
farming simulator, like Farmville back in the day.
It'll
Yeah.
be one of those things where if we looked into it, there'd be so many TV shows that we would have watched as kids that were turned into like a Nintendo DS game.
Yeah.
Or like it didn't do very well, but you'd be surprised how many TV shows, basically any Nickelodeon app, SpongeBob.
Yes, all
There's
the
been
Nickelodeon.
SpongeBob,
Yeah, absolutely.
video
Battle
games.
for Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
I must admit that there's literally a game that I put on the shelf behind Ellie.
Oh yeah.
Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 on PlayStation 2 is my all-time favorite game based on a TV show because they had over 150 playable fighting characters.
Wow.
Street Fighter has like 20, maybe
wow.
30. You know what I mean? They had over 150.
And would each playable character have like individual like moves and stuff? Or
Absolutely,
would it be,
yeah.
Wow.
So you could play as like Yamcha or Goku or Super Saiyan. Goku could turn Super Saiyan, then go Super Saiyan 2 mid-fight, then 3, then 4. You could be Master. And then there was all these like B-grade characters from like one episode, which was excellent. So yeah, that's my
There's
answer.
somebody on this planet who knows all of the moves to all of those characters.
And
or at
I
least they used to. They're a bit rusty now. They
Yeah,
only remember
probably.
maybe 4 or 5.
I want to meet that person.
Yeah, message us if you're listening. Extremely Casual Gamers podcast, please.
doubt
I'm
they
sure
will.
that they're listening.
Give it some more enthusiasm, please.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
are so keen to have that person on.
Blake messaged in on the topic of flipping your device out in public. We spoke about this last week, Chris, about whether it's a bit uncool to have your Game Boy. But Blake was telling us that 2 days after he bought his Game Boy, he broke his phone and he was standing around at JB Hi-Fi and repair shops for quite a while waiting for his phone to be fixed. So he pulled out his Game Boy and he said, F me, I've never been so popular. Had about 10 blokes in their late 20s, early 30s come up and start talking to him about the Game Boy. So it's like a magnet. So that might be you.
For dudes, a dude magnet. I think this is the same Blake who messaged me saying he got it out at a party and was swarmed by guys who then took over the Game Boy for a while and like built up his XP by battling and thinking it was real fun. But secretly his Haunter went up 5 levels while they were, you know, so it's a smart thing to do.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Just on that, because I listened to last week's episode. And
Oh, did you listen to that? Did you? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
the unnecessary sledging from me. Well, I'll let that slide. But just off what you were talking about, Chris, with the whole hypothetical handheld devices, there was one towards the end of the spectrum where you were talking about how in the Koru Lounge you take over the TV
With The
and
Witcher
with
3 on a
Witcher
PlayStation 5.
on a PlayStation 5, and it's not going through your headphones.
It's played
going-
out loud on the speakers.
And then the one after that, it was you and your partner Lucy dressing up as like
me and Ellie.
You and Ellie, sorry.
I'm his partner.
Sorry,
Sorry.
sorry, you were the partner in the
Oh my
hypothetical
God.
situation. Sorry.
Way to blow the whistle on me, guy. Now Ellie knows that I'm married.
And it was you dressing up as Mario and Luigi.
Yes.
I feel like I'd be more embarrassed about The Witcher than the Mario Luigi thing. I would much rather participate and be the Luigi running around, jumping on the couches, finding coins, than sitting next to Chris playing The Witcher.
That's a yarn.
No, 100%. I would 100.
That's a yarn.
I feel like people seeing Mario and Luigi jumping around the Coral Lounge, oh, these guys, they're a little bit drunk or whatever. It's funny. Whereas one dude playing The Witcher, and you said it was a steamy sex scene or something like that.
Yeah, it was like one of those
Classic Chris.
questionable scenes.
Classic Chris.
No,
He brings in
guy,
that, he smuts it up.
I was going for the most. You can talk. You made a downstairs infection joke not 5 seconds into
I
this.
never referenced
Yes,
downstairs.
you
That was
pointed
you.
downstairs.
You brought
You
that up.
pointed downstairs.
Old smut lord over here.
The smut lord, I like that.
That's funny.
But I can't even remember what I was going to say. Don't worry about
I'm
it.
just saying, if I were answering that question,
that would be your-
the Mario Luigi is less embarrassing than sitting next to Chris as he plays The Witcher.
Wow, yeah, fair enough.
That's
No,
my.
it's
that's,
not, Ellie. Don't just say fair enough. You're literally in a costume jumping on the couch while people are just trying to eat and like do their office work.
Yeah, and then you're silently just looking at a screen, watching some dude with 3 swords on his back try chat up some woman.
You know it's 2 swords. How dare you? Now
was
you're
3.
just trying to stir me up. One's for monsters, one's for humans. What would the third one be for? The ladies. Yes.
Old smut lord.
He's back. Damn it.
Oh, all right, moving on. Cameron messaged in about lessons we learned from games, which was another topic we spoke about last week.
Yes, that's right.
Cameron said, now I think it's pronounced Hades.
Hades?
That one.
Hades,
Hades. What did you say?
Hades. Like the Greek god of the underworld.
Oh, of course. Sorry. So
I love how you
Hades.
instantly forgot it as I told you.
I know. I literally just didn't listen.
Fair enough.
Sorry about that. But Cameron learnt from that it included themes about family relations, like difficult family relations and setting boundaries and all that kind of stuff. And he said it actually helped him in work and uni life.
Oh, wow.
Just kind of those
That's
kind
cool.
of themes, because it's a roguelike game, and if you fail, you start again. You have to learn from your mistakes and get further and further.
There you go.
So he was just saying that's something that he's learned. And then we also had Jared message in with 4 different games he's learned lessons from.
Wow.
The first one, Elden Ring / Dark Souls, he learned actually things can get worse.
Oh, way worse. Yeah, because they always transform into something way harder halfway through. It's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. And then
Crying out
he learned from Baldur's Gate 3, 150 hours isn't actually that much.
Thank you. You can also learn that from The Witcher 3 in the Koru Lounge.
Nice subtle nod back to that. He actually learned how offside works in football from FIFA.
Oh, wow, that's good, because I don't know how that works.
Yeah, it's very confusing. And then he also said what he learned from Fortnite is that kids suck.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Ironically,
much
kids don't suck at the game because they're so good at it.
Yeah.
They suck.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your feedback as per. You can message us on Instagram, Extremely Casual Gamers Podcast. And also from next week, you can also chat in our new Facebook group, which we will be revealing the name later on in the show. But we love hearing from you. So please do it. And for now, let's get into some gaming news.
Oh, you mean gaming news? Gaming news. Buying in haste could blow up in your face thanks to copy paste. Now, this is regarding some news which came out saying that the success of Pal World, Helldivers 2, and also Last Epoch, which is another game available on Steam, right? Okay. So these games have been so successful that one developer in particular, originally known as White Hole Games, smart lord over here. Look at this. That was what they were known as about 6 months ago. They've changed their names 3 times since then. And what they are doing is changing their entire Steam page so that you click onto it by accident, thinking it's Helldiver. They've named their new game Helldivers 2. It's a reskin of an old shit game that they've got.
Oh my God.
They've changed the title of it, all the screenshots to make you think that that's Helldivers 2 so that you'll accidentally download their one.
Oh my God. Is that legal?
Are they charging you for that?
Well, the interesting thing is, and I was reading up on this, apparently when you make a purchase on Steam, it takes 60 days for the funds to actually clear and go to you, apparently.
Yeah.
Right.
So Valve, who runs Steam, noticed it pretty quickly and stopped it. So they've pretty much stopped them from getting any money from this. However, it's obviously been successful because it's popped up a few times and quite a lot of people have accidentally downloaded Helldivers in their haste to get as part of the crowd and, because it's the in thing at the moment.
Wow.
So what I'm also saying is, so if you're going onto Steam, don't be too quick. The best place to double check is the reviews.
Yes, good call.
They've got thousands of reviews, people saying this is awesome. Same for Power World and Last Epoch as well. There was also one called Escape from Tarkov, which isn't actually on Steam, but they paid top money to have their Google search appear at the top. If someone types in Escape from Tarkov Steam, their fake page comes up first. You click into it, and it goes to another game of theirs on Steam, which they have now renamed once again.
Oh, are they trying to trick people into buying their next game?
No. They're old games that they had. And they've just renamed them all. Like existing games. They have renamed the pages and the screenshots have been re-uploaded to make it look like it's Helldivers. And so you click to download it and it's just one of their old games.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness, Buzzy.
How crazy is that?
Legal? Like it's not, is it?
I don't think it's. I think it's operating currently in a weird grey area, but Valve is just pulling them down as fast as they can. But yeah, so it's just something to keep in mind when you're downloading Helldivers or any of those games like Power World. Just double check it's the right one. You'll know because it has thousands of ratings.
I wonder if somebody heard about Helldivers 2 and thought this game sounds amazing, but hadn't seen anything, did that, bought it, and then they've just been playing that game.
Oh, there'll be
the shit version. They're like, man, this game is not living up to the hype. Like, where are the stratagems? And just like, they're just playing a completely different game.
That will 100% be happening right now. I reckon there'll be hundreds of people, maybe even thousands, who are playing Power World and Helldivers and Last Epoch without actually realising.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's like, what's all the hype about? I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, that's some juicy gaming news there.
It is. So don't be too hasty when you're buying it. Just double check.
All right.
Over to Guy now for the second article in gaming news.
So I don't have a kooky title because it's actually kind of it's a serious subject, but it's last week it was announced that PlayStation are doing a bunch of major layoffs. 8% of its global workforce, which is roughly 900 staff members across the world, are getting made redundant, getting laid off, right?
At PlayStation?
Yeah, at PlayStation, right? So it seems like a lot of it is going to be, has already been around studios that are owned by PlayStation. So Naughty Dog, Guerrilla Games, Insomniac, and Firesprite are all cutting some staff loose, and the entire PlayStation studio office in London has just been gone.
Right.
So Firesprite and the London studio that have been affected, majority of the work that they did was PlayStation VR related. And not too long ago, PlayStation announced that the VR2 content is kind of coming to us, not to a stop, but it's slowing down, and that it would also be allowing PlayStation VR2 if you've got it, to be then like patched in with PC, because
So you can
originally,
use it,
if you've got it, you can only use it on your PlayStation 5. But now they're like, oh, we'll make it so that you can use your on your PC, because there just isn't enough PlayStation VR content. It's a bit of a, it's like when, movies were 3D. It was like, one person did it really good, and then the rest of it was like, it seems like a bit of a gimmick, right?
Yeah.
So it's like them acknowledging that it hasn't really worked. But it's not, it's just a shame. Like 900 jobs are going to be gone, and it's not done yet. Like, they've only done about half of it.
Wow.
So, in a bit of a timeline, 18 months ago, PlayStation, they bought Bungie Games, and they announced that it would release 12 live service games before 2026. So a live service game is an online game like Helldivers 2.
Fortnite,
Apex, stuff like that,
whatever.
right? So one of those games they announced was Helldivers 2. That number then got cut down to 6. So originally they said 12.
Which,
and then
by
they
the
were
way,
like,
I don't think it's a bad thing, because I think just a handful of really good ones is what we want.
exactly.
Yeah.
They were kind of like throwing shit at the wall,
Yeah.
and then they were actually, no, let's do 6. Then at the end of last year, which we covered, Naughty Dog announced that it was dropping its live service game that was in development because it would take too much resource away from the single player title. So basically, this is PlayStation going, we invested X amount in PlayStation VR, didn't work. We've invested, and it's a lot of money to make a live service game, a successful, good one, and then maintain it. So they've gone, okay, VR, live service games probably wasn't the best call, and unfortunately, that means that people are losing their jobs. But it's not just them, because the gaming industry, as you may know, a whole bunch of people lost their jobs. Last month, Microsoft laid off 1,900 staff from Activision, Blizzard, and Xbox. And then Unity, they laid off 25% of their workforce, and Discord laid off 17. So the gaming industry, which makes $282 billion a year, is also losing a lot of its staff.
That's really interesting.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, when it's such a big industry and it just seems to be growing, and there's more gamers every day, it seems odd that people are losing jobs.
But games are more expensive to make and distribute now.
That's right. So I saw a thing the other day. It was like some of the most expensive movies ever made were in about the 300 to 350 million US dollar mark. Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to cost $2 billion to make.
Yeah.
But that is the biggest brand in entertainment now, is Grand Theft Auto. Here's an interesting thing. Naughty Dog Studios, incredibly successful. Last of Us, Uncharted, Guerrilla Games, Horizon Games, incredibly successful. Insomniac, Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 2 came out last year.
Wolverine's coming out. All of these are huge, and they are not immune to layoffs. No. That's what's concerning.
Yeah, wow.
And a lot of those companies, so all of those companies make big open world single player games. They're obviously not very profitable, so they're going to go, man, we need to make more of these live service games like Fortnite, because that's the only way to be profitable. So I am very worried that I will not be able to sit on my couch and play a cool open world single player game for too much longer.
Yeah, right.
I think this is just PlayStation's way of resetting and, cutting it back. They want to go back to their roots, which is creating these single player AAA titles. They've announced that we're not going to get a PlayStation exclusive until April next year. We're not getting any for the rest of this year. So I think they're just going to cut their losses. They're going to they're going to try and recoup some of their money, and then next year, probably between now and then, we'll get the PlayStation 5 Pro. So I think it's going to slowly build back up. But it's just unfortunate that the decisions made from the top have affected the people in the middle and the bottom.
Yeah.
And then, this time next year, between now and then, they'll be making hires. They'll be hiring people again.
Yeah.
And so will these studios. But it's just, it's just live service and VR.
Yeah, so it wasn't really...
Helldivers is a success. It just there needs to be like 2 or 3 more of those this year.
Yeah.
And then maybe one in the new year.
Ask, though,
it's
right?
a huge ask, because you can sit there and go, yes. I mean, there was a PlayStation showcase last year in May, and there's 3 live service games that they announced, and we don't even know when they're coming out. They were just throwing stuff at the wall.
Yeah, right. Also, do we know whether the layoffs are to do with potential AI coming into account and like having technology being able to do some of these jobs?
Potentially. That is something that's coming into it. What I think is happening, because the same thing's happening in like media here in New Zealand at the moment, which is the only thing I can speak to, is obviously COVID, blah, 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 blah. The economy went to crap and then is now in the rebuilding phase. For some reason, we're in the phase now that even though things are looking up, houses are starting to sell for more again, and everything's starting to pick back up. We are still now feeling the effects of what happened. So they're making these layoffs now. The end of this year, the American economy apparently is going to be booming again. And then next year, they will most likely, hopefully, be rehiring a lot of these people,
Back.
Okay.
But it's just that in order to sort of, deal with what has happened,
They had to just cull
they
really
have to
quickly.
cull people. And then, so it's just something that's just happening all around the world at the moment. Sorry, guys.
Wow.
And it takes away as well. So the people that remain, they're going to be picking up the slack for the people that have been gone. Like if we were a gaming studio, just the 3 of us, and me and Ellie get fired, our roles will then just get thrown to Chris.
Exactly.
And Chris has to do 3 people's jobs and get paid the same amount.
Which
and then
sucks.
you will
Although
get,
to be fair, if it was to happen, that would be how it would happen.
I instantly regret using him as the example.
I was
I'm
waiting
so
for a
sorry
joke.
you did.
More realistically, you and I would quit because working with him is a punish.
Exactly.
So that is my
Is it really?
super fun gaming news.
Yeah, that was quite depressing, actually.
Down Buzz News.
Hello.
Oh, no. Stop. Why have you done this to us, Chris?
Hey, I didn't say to say it like a punisher. I said to come in with some enthusiasm.
Like a punisher. I thought that was quite.
Hello.
You sounded quite unsure of yourself, to be fair.
I didn't. I was like, I need to think of a kooky way to come in, and I landed on that.
You know what's happened here is he heard last week's episode and how successful it was.
He's intimidated.
And he's like, crap, I better come in with some heat right now.
Yeah.
Funny you say that because this is actually based off what you guys were talking about last week, and it was Chris talking about how he was using his handheld Game Boy device, and I was thinking about it. So you are 33 years old, right?
32, yep.
I thought you were 33. Well, that's changed everything that I'm going to talk
Oh,
about.
the whole prep's just ruined, is it?
That's
prep.
all good, man. It's not like you've known me for like 15 years or anything. Either.
Right, so Chris is 32 years old, but you were playing a Game Boy, right? So Game Boy, we were playing 20 years ago.
Yeah,
right?
so this one I'm playing came out in 2000.
All right,
Really?
2000. So it's a 24-year-old device. You were playing it back then, and you would have been, 11 years old, right? 11 or 10.
Yeah, 10. I'd say 10.
10, 11 years old. A 10 or 11-year-old playing a Game Boy back in the year 2000 made complete sense.
Yeah.
But you are now a 32-year-old gamer, which lends me to believe that back in the year 2000, there were 32-year-old gamers, right?
Yeah.
So in the year 2000, Chris is 11, and then
Yeah.
someone out there is 32, and they're also playing the Game Boy, right?
Yeah.
See, that's the that's the issue.
Back then, there was also the PlayStation. You know, there's also your Nintendo 64s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It got me thinking about gamers now, because that Chris is playing something now that he was playing back then.
Yeah.
What are the people that were 32 back in the year 2000? Are they
now.
playing it now?
Right, so they're like 55 years old now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're in their early 50s.
Yeah.
We've grown up with gaming because the gaming industry has massively exploded over the last 20 years, whereas
Yeah.
back then it was kind of semi-starting out. Well, not starting out. It's been around since the 70s, but
Yeah.
I want to know if there are people in their 50s playing video games now because over the last 20 years they have played it. And if they aren't, when did it stop? And if they are, what are they playing?
Yeah.
It's just the age of gaming. So I just sort of dived into it a little bit. Here are some stats about gaming that just blow my mind. So global video game population as of this year, these are the amount of people that play video games, is 3.32 billion.
Right, so that's out of almost 8 billion people. But
7.88 billion is the...
So it's like half,
Basically.
almost, pretty much. Like,
Right.
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It's getting close to half, and that is including like obviously mobile gaming.
Mobile
right?
gaming is included in that.
So my wife playing Wordle.
yeah.
That's she's
nice.
a gamer.
Yeah, we'll
Right.
count that. Yeah.
So last year, just 2023, it was 3.22. So 100 million people increase. In
Damn.
the year 2015, so almost 10 years ago, it was just over 2 billion. So we've gone up
1 point something
We've
billion.
gone up billion in
Roughly.
almost 10 years' time, right? So the industry is worth $282 billion annually. In the US in 2022, females made up 45% of video games, right? Video gamers, right?
Thank you.
I looked at the stats over the last 10 years, and in the year 2015, the spread was 52 to 48 of males. So that's how close it was. And then I think the furthest spread apart was 2015, where it was 60 to 30. So in our heads, where we thought that the gaming industry was male dominated, it's not by much.
It's not.
So
Yeah.
it's currently 55 to 45.
It's
That's the
male.
split.
It's male dominated in terms of the people making games and making game media.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not male dominated in terms of consuming the media.
consuming
No.
of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. That's the
Yes.
issue.
So back to my
Exactly.
original point when it comes to the age of gaming. So this is in the US. This is last year in the US. And I know I'm throwing a lot of
And
numbers
just
out
confirming, that's the United States.
there. The United States
Cool.
of America.
Okay.
Yeah. So under 18s make up 20% of the gaming population, 618 million. 18 to 34-year-olds is 38%. That's the majority.
That's
The average-
us.
That's us,
Oh,
right?
that's us.
Then we
Okay.
go 35 to 44 is 14, 45 to 54 is 12, and then you've got 55 to 64, those are our parents, 9%, and then 65 plus is 7%. The average age of a gamer is 35 years old.
Wow. It's actually a bit older than I thought it would
So
be. for
what
some
would
reason.
the average age of the gamer have been 20 years ago? What will it be in 20 years' time?
Yeah, right.
I think when I was 10 playing Game Boy, and kissing all the girls at primary school.
That's obviously a lie.
Those two things aren't mutually, they don't go together at all, by the way. I had a good Crazy Bone collection, though. That's a throwback.
Crazy Bones,
Yeah,
that's
man.
a throwback.
Yeah, hell yeah. And I was
Sorry,
kissing all the girls in my crazy.
Nah,
No,
stop.
I wasn't. Okay. And so when I was 10 playing Game Boy,
Yeah.
the people who were 32 at that time were playing like pinball
Yeah.
and stuff
Yeah.
that they grew up with that they were doing when they were my age. Because all I'm doing now that I'm 32 is justifying being a giant kid and never really having grown up by still playing Game Boy that I had when I was that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the stuff I'm into now, when I was a teenager, I am now. That's my whole life now.
Yeah.
So I think whatever they were into, yeah.
So do you think, though, when you're 50, you're going to be playing content, like playing video games, regardless of how many times or how many hours during the week, the stuff that you play, is that going to be stuff that we're playing now in 2024? Or do you think that at 50 years old, you guys are going to be playing the latest Grand Theft Auto or the latest first-person shooter? How many people do you reckon in their 50s now are playing Helldivers 2?
Yeah, I think that it'll be a mixture, yes, but I actually think I'll be more attached to the nostalgic feeling.
Right.
Still, I think I'll still be playing what I grew up with and what I learned.
Oh, you'll definitely still be playing It Takes Two. All right, end there. No, Carol.
No, exactly. I was still completing that. I might still be playing straight. No, but I think I'd be going for more nostalgia because I think the other thing is that we grew up with a certain kind of gaming, and I feel like when you grow, okay, how am I trying to explain this? You evolve with the technology as it evolves, right?
Yes, yeah.
And I feel like people who are now like 55, they may, unless they really continued gaming hard out, they may actually struggle. It sounds like I'm being ageist, but they may struggle with the fast-paced new age way of gaming. So they're probably used to,
I don't want to play any of these new like online multiplayer-y Fortnite like live update
Live
things.
service
Yeah.
games.
I don't want to play any of that shit. I just want a single player game like I was playing when I was a kid, but the modern version of that.
Yes.
And that's why I'm terrified they're going to be phased out. So I think you're right.
And that's the thing for me as well. It's the fear. And it might not just be video games related, but I'm scared that if I'm 40 years old, 45, and I fire up my PlayStation 7 or whatever it is at the time, and I just go, I don't know what I'm doing. I give up, and then it's like,
Never.
Oh, cool. So this thing that I've enjoyed since I was 10 years old, is that just done now? I can't play games because I can't figure out
can't keep
how to
up.
connect. Like, how many games in 20 years' time will be like, oh, you don't have the internet? Oh, tough luck. Like, you can't do anything. Like, that's it.
Yeah. What do you think, Chris? I know they're very pensive.
I think the fact that Guy is going to be thrown off by the PlayStation 7, even though it's only one generation gap from where we are now, is quite concerning. It's like not even that far. It's like you being thrown off by the PlayStation 5 where you've got a PlayStation 3. So that's quite funny. I think that we might be sort of, to be honest, when I'm 70 and I'm in the retirement home, I'm going to be walking around with my Game Boy Advance hanging out, looking for people to battle.
Yeah.
I have got this, like, seriously, I'm going to be firing up Age of Empires 2 once every 3 years until the day I die.
I was just imagining you at the retirement home. You think you've got your Game Boy looking for people, but actually the nurses are like, bless him. He's shuffling around. He's holding a TV remote. He's talking to a coat rack.
Hell yeah.
Yelling Charizard.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as I'm happy and I'm thinking I'm playing it, then I'm happy. So
that's true.
That's true.
And so that kind of gaming is, and like I know what I am into. It is co-op with my friends, which is what Helldivers is ticking off. Not going against people.
Yeah.
Like it's co-op,
PvE.
PvE, playing against the computer essentially. I like open world games, linear games where I'm just like the main character.
Yeah.
And I like those like strategy throwback games. Like I went through a massive City Skylines phase, which is essentially SimCity from when I was a kid because I used to play SimCity and The Sims as well and Age of Empires. So I'm just going to be doing those exact things, the modern versions, and occasionally coming back to the classics. That's going to be my entire gaming career.
I mean, if you're talking nostalgia of games that we play, it's going to be kind of funny if we're in the retirement home and we're playing things that we enjoyed in our 20s, which will be Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Like, imagine going to visit your grandparents and you walk past the media room of the retirement village and you just see 75-year-old Guy and Chris next to each other, hooked up to oxygen, bedpans underneath us, and we're just mowing people down.
At 75.
Yeah.
So that's pretty young to be hooked up to everything with bedpans. Once again, you're massively selling yourself
I was
short,
meaning
Guy.
more Chris, because if he continues with the amount of drinking he does, he's gonna need an iron kidney or something. I don't know. I wasn't even too sure what I wanted out of this conversation. It's just the idea of Chris playing something that he would have been playing when he was 10 years old, but he's playing it now. it just got me thinking about those people back, the 33-year-olds back then.
Yes. Well,
What are they doing now? So I guess we could pose the question of anybody who's listening to this podcast, if you think you're the oldest person listening to this podcast, by all means, messages in.
Please
Extremely
do.
Casual Gamers Podcast on Instagram. How old are you? What are you playing? What did you used to play? If you're listening and your parents still play,
Yep.
talk about them as
Well,
well.
because wasn't someone playing Flight Simulator? Someone's dad or
My
something?
dad plays War Thunder.
That's
Is that what
right.
you're thinking of? Yeah.
That is so badass.
I know,
My
bless
dad
him.
plays War Thunder.
Oh, bless him. It's the only game he plays. It's literally the only game he
That's
plays.
cool, man.
He's got
Yeah.
his little joystick because he loves his dad. His dad loved World War II, Spitfire and
Great.
planes and stuff. So dad's got that same attachment to them. So that's why he plays War
That's
Thunder.
very cool.
That's
That's
very
wicked.
sweet.
Does
Yeah.
he listen to this podcast?
No, I don't think he does actually.
Is that the only family member of yours that doesn't listen to this podcast?
I need to hit him up about that actually. Yeah, we at Dad. This is a test. We'll see if he actually messages me when I mention A.
Hell yeah.
Hi, Dad. Are you there?
And also, anyone else listening, Extremely Casual Gamers Podcast on Instagram, get in touch. Do your parents play, your grandparents, blow our minds, because I've seen online like clips of an old lady who's like 80 playing Fortnite and stuff and
Yeah.
tearing it up.
There's
So.
war veterans that are playing like Call of Duty and really good at it.
Oh my
because
gosh,
they used to live it.
Would they not have like severe PTSD?
Massively.
Yeah.
Like, would that not? Oh wow, I'm
But
actually
they're like,
surprised
they're,
to hear
they're
that.
streaming on Twitch. They're like, 80 years old, be like, so thank you for the bits, and then they're just like sniping someone in the head, like, get pwned.
Really?
yeah, it's hard out.
Really?
But if you're a war veteran, like the more realistic thing will be like you sign into your first game, you start, you get shot, and then you just go, right, well, that's the game over. You snap the disc and then walk out. Because that's what real war is like. Rage quitting. Am I right?
Amen, bro.
Yeah, rage quitting.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what rage quitting is, it's when you're usually playing an online multiplayer game and you keep losing, so you get angry and you turn the game off. You don't even finish the game.
Yeah.
Are you guys victims of rage quitting? Because just quickly, I am not, because I don't like to play very difficult online multiplayer games because they make me like mad and anxious and I don't enjoy myself. So I don't experience it because I don't go near those games.
Yeah, well, I don't really play online multiplayer either. I just rage quit on my own.
Right,
Like
so
when
you're
I
rage
get-
quitting single player games.
Yeah, I'm getting angry at myself. Yeah.
And are you playing tough games like Elden Ring or anything like that?
Not at all. And I'm actually talking about as well when I was a kid. I rage quit quite a lot just as a kid when I get really frustrated at like a Crash Bandicoot level, and I
Yeah, they're
couldn't
tough,
get
by the
past.
way.
Crash Bandicoot's hard.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
really
Like-
hard, and I just used to get so angry and then just like slam the controller down and turn
Yeah.
it off. Yeah, but
Have you-
I didn't play multiplayer really, so
Have you ever broken a controller?
no, I haven't.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
What about you, Guy?
I mean, I understand the concept of, being very angry while playing a live service game such as Fortnite. I've had plenty of times where I've had frustrating games that I've gone to bed annoyed at myself or annoyed at the squad, and I've been lying there in bed.
So annoyed at the squad in bed.
God damn it, guys! Like messaging the chat, we've got to be better. I'll go to bed, like look, and it'll be dark. I'm like, oh, and I'll like play things out of my head. But I've never quit like Fortnite because I've been playing so bad. The one game when you told me we were talking about this that came to mind where I legitimately rage quit was Tony Hawk American Wasteland.
Oh,
Came out in like 2005, 2006, and there was a mission where there was a guy who had to like shoot a guy as he's climbing up a crane with a water
you
balloon
said
gun.
this was
I'd
like the
mentioned-
hardest one ever.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I mentioned this before, right?
Yes, yeah.
The reason I rage quit wasn't so much that I couldn't shoot him. You had to shoot him before he gets to the top with the water balloons. It wasn't that. It was because every single time you failed, you had to start again, and the whole cutscene played out.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
And
that's right.
I was lying, and the cutscene went for about 45 seconds to a minute each time, unskippable.
That's
And
crazy.
I've got Sam to grab the bit of audio that just sent me over the edge because I heard this 50 times.
Oh no, yeah.
Get off of my crane! I'm shutting you down! Job's over, jerky!
Oh, just hearing it now winds me up.
Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah.
he runs up and he starts running up the crane. But there's so much chat before and after that. And because I couldn't get the shoot him down, and because I heard that so many times and I couldn't skip it,
Yeah.
I rage quit. I was
Yeah.
so angry. And I never got any further than the game.
This
and I
is
really
good.
liked the game.
Yeah, dang, yeah.
This is good, actually. This could be a good topic, like things that are so hard in games you had to quit. Or have we already done that?
Isn't that what we're doing now?
No. This is rage.
So
No,
your
no.
idea and spun it.
Everything you just said was incorrect. We'll be cutting that out. It's not relevant. Okay, so there are 5 things that contribute to rage quitting.
Okay.
So there'll be people listening
Okay.
right now who secretly are like, yeah, okay, maybe I'm a wee bit of a rage quitter.
Okay.
The first thing is called loss aversion. All right. So according to a study done in the early 90s, humans hate losing. twice as much as they enjoy winning.
Oh, right. I
that
believe
makes
that.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you experience a win, it's elating, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? But if
Yeah.
you experience a bad loss, it is so bad that the thought of experiencing that feeling again gives you anxiety. And that's called loss aversion. Like,
So you just avert away from even
You
getting
avoid
into
doing
that.
it,
Yeah.
to avoid
that's right.
potentially
It's
losing.
it's
Yeah,
like
right.
never asking, Guy, and you'll relate to this, never asking a
Here we
girl
go.
out because you want to avoid the rejection.
Yeah.
So you just don't.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
loss
right.
aversion.
To be fair, that's true because they always ask me out.
Yeah, got him.
Oh, you're so hot. You're such hot shit, man. The second thing is called negative reinforcement, all right? Now, here's how that works. So basically you think, if I rage quit, I won't have technically lost that game, so I won't fully experience that embarrassment that I was feeling from
Yeah.
losing.
Yeah.
So you rage quit, doesn't count as a loss because that was BS.
Yeah.
And I'm out of there, that doesn't count. That's called negative reinforcement.
Mm-hmm.
The Dunning-Kruger effect, which is based off a 1930s study. I know this is pretty full on.
wow.
Dunning-Kruger.
Dunning. People overestimating their own ability. All right. This is also called the Guy Mansell effect. So basically, you remember all of your victories more than you remember your losses. So do you remember your last Fortnite victory, for example?
No. To be fair, I haven't
'Cause
played
you
in a
never
long
had
time.
Right.
I haven't played in a long time.
Hey, bird, Ellie, I like
Got
it.
him.
Yeah.
But basically, you sort of, let's say you played Apex on a Tuesday and you played about 8 games, you got 1 win and it was excellent. A week later, you've been playing every night, you haven't had a win, but you're so fixated on that win you had a week ago, you've
Yeah.
forgotten the 50 times you have failed.
Yes, yeah.
So that's the Dunning-Kruger effect where because you got that win a week ago, you're like, oh my God, I should be able to get another win.
So you're chasing that high.
That's right.
You know, like, I've done this before. Why can't I do it again?
Yeah.
Another thing that you experience as a rage quitter is it's called a diffusion of responsibility. So if you're playing as a group, you feel
Here we go.
no.
Is it going to be able to shoehorn in a third one?
And Guy, you did this a lot last night on Helldivers. No, that's not true at all. But basically, when you're playing as a group of 4 of you, you feel like you can take more risks, you can be more out there and do stuff like charge off Leroy Jenkins style.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a group and it doesn't matter. However, if you then get the win, you feel instrumental to that win and feel as though you were the MVP and the reason they won. And so that person, the person who feels like they can charge off, will often also experience that feeling of having carried the team if they win.
So it's that sense of invincibility. It's like, well, I did it and we won, which is kind of just a coincidental effect.
But also,
Yeah.
if they won, let's say they killed the last person, you weren't even within cooey of that person. That's within range for anyone listening outside of New Zealand. You'll still feel like you were one of the main reasons that the team won.
yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, if you lose, it's someone else's fault. If you win, you're the MVP.
Yeah.
So that's the diffusion of responsibility there. And the last one is basically the main reason humans do not like rage quitting is because they are confronted with their own terribleness.
Yeah.
It is a reminder, and for some people, you're playing Fortnite, you die, you're like one of the first groups to get wiped out, you're back into another game, it happens again. You are being confronted with how bad you are at something over and over and over. Humans do not like this. It makes you feel incompetent,
Yes.
and that's
Yeah.
the end of that yarn.
What are you two giggling about over there?
Because Guy was ready to slam dunk one on me, and I was holding back one on Guy.
So those 5 that you just talked about.
That's right.
Which one were you experiencing when we played golf and you weren't playing very well and you quit halfway through the round?
Well, obviously
you?
that's negative reinforcement. So if I rage quit, I won't have technically lost. So I won't feel the experience.
Oh, okay.
I won't fully experience the embarrassment of losing.
Right, okay.
But that situation, Guy, and I'm glad you brought it up. I'm really pleased, actually.
I'm pleased that we're talking about your golf day. Yeah, keep going.
Ellie, I'm sure. Ellie, I'd love to get your take on this.
Oh, I can't wait.
What I experienced was I couldn't do anything right for about 5 holes in a row. Everything I was doing was wrong, and I was getting mad. And it was at the point where I was like, I need to stop doing this because the amount of fury it's causing me is not something I want to experience, and I should just stop because clearly something's wrong.
Plus,
Right.
as well, if you push through and if you played better or you didn't, whatever, if you stopped, if you were playing exactly as you were, and it's going to leave a negative taste in your
Oh my
mouth,
God,
bad taste in your mouth.
just-
So the next time you play, you're like, I need to be better than last time. And if you're not, then you might end up just not enjoying the
And
game.
it's a spiral
Yeah.
downwards
Yeah.
from there.
And for the record,
Yeah.
I was better than last time, the next time I played. And so, these are basically the 5 sort of almost not symptoms, but like 5 reasons why people do rage quit.
Yeah,
I like this because, I mean, I love that there's actually a study done to it and there's actually names for it and there's different types of rage quitting and there's different brain, like the way your brain thinks towards these moments. Because I'll be thinking of these next time I'm playing a game and there's a difficult moment. And I'll be like, oh, which one am I experiencing right now? What theory am I experiencing? That's quite cool.
And like the overarching thing was just basically humans that one stat of like roughly humans enjoy humans hate losing twice as much as they enjoy winning. I thought that was very interesting.
That is interesting.
So you're saying that you don't rage quit, but you play incredibly difficult games. So
Yes.
when you get stuck on a boss that you like you mentioned before, how they like halfway through the battle they transform into something harder.
Yes, on Elden Ring especially.
You die a bunch of times and it takes you like 2 hours and you haven't got anywhere. Have you had moments where you're like, and you just turn off the PlayStation? Does that not count as rage quitting, or is that you being like, I can't do this?
I'm stopping here.
I'm stopping.
So
Okay.
I experienced it a few times with Elden Ring, which Demon Souls was the remaster version of that was my first ever From Software game because I'm quite new to it all. Elden Ring, there was a few bosses where I had to do what I did on the golf course, which is go, right, it's like 11 o'clock at night. I think I'm too tired for this and it's just making me mad, which is making me worse.
Yeah.
But the good thing about those games is when you come back, you are faced with that exact same situation. You're not joining a fresh game with fresh hopes.
That's true. It's like you're faced with the realization of, I need to get past this to continue playing this game. So it gives you like this boost of like, just get it done. Because otherwise I can't continue playing this game. Whereas with Fortnite, I have 20 bad games in a row. I'm not going to be faced with the exact same players from the last game that I was playing the time before.
Yeah,
it's like I could be faced with 5 amazing games in a row.
And the other thing with online stuff too is your only solution to that is to get better.
Yeah.
Whereas like better skillfully as a human, faster reflexes, better understanding of the game. Whereas on a single player game where you're just beating a tough boss, you don't just have to get better. That helps, obviously, but you can learn what the boss does because he does the same stuff every time.
Well, to be fair, though, with like Fortnite, for example, and I know there are other live service games that have this, it's skill-based matchmaking. So, you know, the servers read your games and they go, this guy has lost 40 games in a row. And then it lowers essentially your player score. So next time you jump into a server, it tries to put you with as many players that are of the same skill level as you. So if you've got somebody in your squad who is an absolute lord of the game, then the game reads their skill. And if they're like right up here, like level 400, and you're only running at like level 20, tough luck. Level 20s, you're in a level 400 game.
That's frustrating.
So it brings you up.
It brings you up. It doesn't bring him down.
Otherwise, he could come in and bully.
Of course.
A guy I play with regularly, he plays Fortnite, and his son also plays Fortnite, who's like 12, 13, and he's really good. So we get put in those servers.
Oh, I see. Oh,
so, but if you play really bad long enough, it lowers your score. So then there've been times where we've been losing so much. I'm like, well, at least we're going to get put with the shit people in the next game. So.
Oh, wow.
Let's see, skill-based matchmaking kind of helps.
Yeah.
It does. Are you a rage quitter? Get in touch. Extremely Casual Gamers podcast. We'd love to hear times you have rage quit. Don't be shy. Let us know.
Yeah, safe space. Have you broken a controller? Have you thrown something at the TV?
I have never, ever got to the point of anger where I've broken anything, even slammed my controller down, anything like that.
No.
Nice. That's very good.
Like, I just don't allow myself to get near that level of anger. I'm just like, I can't. I have to stop before I even get there.
Good on you.
Yeah, thanks, Ellie.
Yeah, what a legend. Yeah.
What level of anger were you when you quit last Takes Two?
Oh, it takes two.
Yeah, because
that was more just a level of frustration and embarrassment more than
Even
anger.
when you say frustration, you get my wife gets this angry teeth frustration where you start clenching your teeth halfway through it.
Yeah, so pretty high frustration levels is what I'd say, not so much anger.
Yeah, but that's because you suck at it, eh?
Yeah. Hey, so a couple of weeks ago, you two brought to the table that we're going to be making a Facebook community page for all the ECG listeners to hang out with us and chat and exchange ideas, maybe find gaming buddies. Who
throw
knows?
some memes in there.
Exactly. Give us content ideas for the podcast.
Hello.
And we've over the last 2 weeks, we've asked you for your name suggestions. And in last week's episode, we got it down to the top 3.
That's right.
The top 3. Now, the top 3 were from Jimmy, The Order of ECG. That was Guy. That was your
I like
favourite.
that one. Yeah.
Andrew had Drop 'Em With the Boys Bus. Chris, that was your fave.
Yeah, it's funny.
And then Paul Craze Jr. suggested Extremely Casual Group for Extremely Casual Gamers. So those have been the top 3. We've had a poll on our Instagram all week asking you to vote for your favourite one. And I also just want to shout out a bonus entry that came in this week, which I quite liked, but didn't make the cut because it was too late. But this was from Kane. He suggested ECG NPCs. Which
That's
I thought
good.
was quite cool.
Oh, damn it, Kane.
Yeah, it's quite a good one, eh?
All right, let's flag the whole thing.
Yeah, we're gonna-
Kane's won.
So, Kane, sorry, you're not in the comp, but I just wanted to shout that one out because I thought it was quite a good one.
I hate that. Like, you do all this research on something and then you decide this is what we're doing, and then at the last minute, an even better option comes along. You're like, damn it!
Damn it. But yeah, shout out to Kane for that one. Appreciate it. But we can announce the new Facebook group name and therefore the winner of the $100 gaming voucher. In second equal place, so both these two names got 22% of the vote.
Oh, wow.
We have Drop 'em with the Boys Bus.
Damn it!
And the Order of ECG.
Oh, no!
So officially, our new Facebook group is going to be called the Extremely Casual Group for Extremely Casual Gamers.
I like it.
Yay.
ECGF, ECG.
Yeah.
It's a nice mixture of like the dropping in with the boys bus is just funny.
Yeah.
It's a
And
throwback to something that Ali said. But to be fair, if you were to see that pop up on your Facebook or hear about it, you
No
would
idea.
think that's a
It's a Fortnite
it's
group.
a Fortnite group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause it's obviously
Guys-
the official name of the bus.
Guys was very much like him, just very vanilla. It was just. It was very like, this is the name of the group. It's like the name
No,
of
the thing is, Jimmy, was it Jimmy who said,
it
so
was
the
Jimmy.
order of ECG, his description was really cool to the point where he said, and you can have, and he decided like the photo shoot that we would do. Like
I didn't realise
he
that.
Put, he put a lot, he thought the order of ECG could be like like a picture of all three of us wearing like hoods with our heads down.
Oh
and
my
it's,
God.
It's all very like secret society, like Assassin's Creed and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
Well, see, I wish I'd known that.
Yeah, the background knowledge
Well,
would be good.
if you checked our Instagram DMs.
well, if you didn't have
for
COVID
once.
last week, then you could have.
Oh, my bad.
If you didn't go to LA,
Oh, yeah.
yes, I came
can't
out
really talk.
unscathed. Boom.
So, no, thanks, Jimmy and Andrew. Your suggestions were amazing.
Yeah,
but
shout out.
Paul Craze Jr., you got 55% of the vote with your
Very
name.
good.
Nice, mate.
I want to know, though. So, I've seen people acronymizing it. Is that a word? Acronym?
Yeah, it definitely
making
is.
it an acronym, right?
Yeah.
So, ECG, FECG. But I've just got another suggestion. Should it be ECG number 4 ECG?
ECG for ECG.
You know what I mean? Because F's
Ooh.
kind of like.
ECGF, because then if it's if people be like ik fig d,
Yeah.
like the F would make, they'll say if somebody's trying to actually read it out as a
Yes.
word.
I feel like the 4 breaks it up,
ECG
and you
for
can
ECG.
clearly see it's ECG
Is
for
this
ECG.
Is this in terms of the name or in terms of like the facebook.com/?
This is still just the name. It's more just I think.
I feel like the name needs to be the full name.
It will be, but I think people are gonna shorten it when we're talking about it because it's such a long name.
yeah,
so
ECG
is
for
it?
ECG.
We need to. It's number 4,
I
right?
like
Yeah,
Number
it's
four.
number 4.
I think we should officially say it's ECG number 4 ECG. Just 'cause
ECG
it's-
for ECG.
Yeah,
because
although-
it is.
Yeah, exactly right. Although message us if you think it should be an F in the middle.
Paul, who suggested it, is just screaming at his like speakers around, like, no, I want the F.
And mention the photo shoot.
No, that's Jimmy.
Yeah.
No, that's great. ECG
I like that.
for
I think
ECG.
that's a good call.
Yeah.
ECG for ECG.
So that's like the shortened like name, like if you know, it's like cool as. But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
official name is going to be Extremely Casual Group for Extremely Casual
Like,
Gamers.
if you know, then you're cool, obviously.
Yeah.
But for all the casuals out there, the filthy
Yeah.
casuals.
So this
No
is
doubt.
a
FCs.
private Facebook group that is anyone can join.
Yeah.
You'll probably have to answer a couple of questions just so we can get to know you as a person. Like,
Yeah.
what are you playing at the moment?
Give
and
us
stuff
your
like
data.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Accept all of our cookies. And yeah, like Ali said, content for the show.
Yeah.
What are you playing? If you're playing Helldivers 2, but you don't have any mates that play it, and it's so much more fun playing with friends.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Go on. What's the gag,
Yeah,
Chris?
what are you going over there?
Oh, just something about guys set this whole thing up so they'll finally have mates to play with.
You
Like,
wouldn't
just
push it on
casually,
us.
like if you don't have any mates, just like
That's great.
hypothetically.
Chris started a group chat with me and 2 other people to be like, so that we could play Helldivers because he
Yeah.
doesn't want to play it on his own.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're actually
Yeah.
projecting. It's you that's the loser.
Hard out. I am predicting.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, I just thought of something.
What?
Can everyone who is playing Helldivers 2 get in touch, Extremely Casual Gamers Podcast, and tell us the name of your ship?
Great idea.
Oh, they're quite creative names.
Because you
for
can
ships.
pick all these combinations of stuff.
Yeah.
What's the first word? Fist of your fist something, isn't
I've
it?
changed mine.
Okay.
Mine used to be called the Fist of Glory.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was like the Spear of Severance and stuff like that.
That's right.
You can change it. You like there's a whole bunch of options of like a noun, and then the second option is it was always of something.
And then a whole lot of words like patriotism or like
Yeah,
love or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like there's one that's like keeper of family values.
That was mine. That's mine. Yeah. Mine
okay.
randomized to that, and I was just like, I'm keeping it.
Nice. Okay. All right. Well, back on track to what we were originally talking about.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So
I've also just realised I'm asked about 5 different things to be messaged in. So
Ellie's the one that does listener feedback. Because like every single time we ask a question, she's like, Jesus Christ.
actually, listener feedback. Do we need it? Message us. Extremely Casual Gamers Podcast. We love your feedback.
Hey, if you want to join this cool new Facebook community group, we've actually it's live, and it also means we've actually got a Facebook page now too, but that's kind of just an added thing. No need to follow that necessarily.
Okay.
But go and follow it now. We've got the link in the description of this episode, wherever you're listening to it. It's also going to be linked in our link tree, which is in the bio of our Instagram. So if you want to come join, click on that. Come hang out.
Quick question. What's a link tree?
It's a great question, Chris. That is a little tree of links. That's
Cool. All right, let's just move
No
on.
more questions.
No, it's a website where we've got all of our links to
That's
like
right.
YouTube and yeah, it's
Where
just
you
an
can listen
easy-
to us on Spotify and Apple Music and stuff like that.
Quite
So
handy.
everything you need to
one-stop
know
shop.
about us
Yeah.
is there. I'm really excited about this Facebook page.
Yeah, it'll be
because
fun.
I like the idea of it growing. I like the idea of these people being able to ask us personally questions.
Be part
and-
of the show, man.
And people
Yeah.
just to talk to each other.
Yeah.
You know, because we
Nice.
know that we've got people listening from mostly New Zealand and Australia, but we've got people in the
All around
US
the world,
and
yeah,
the
which
UK
is cool.
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So yeah, I reckon it's a rad idea.
I agree. I've got an idea for this Facebook group.
Oh, yeah, what is
and
it?
I hope that you are okay with it because I'm just coming in hot here. But I reckon for the first people that join this group, so across the next 7 days, essentially, from you listening to this episode right now to when we release our next episode next week, should we put everyone who joins the group in the draw to also win
Over the next week.
$100 gaming voucher?
That's cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, easy.
You hear that? If you join this week, you're also in the draw to win a $100 gaming voucher, just like our friend Paul Craze Jr., not senior, Junior, won for suggesting the group. So get amongst. It's in our link tree, which is in our Instagram, the link I mean, and it's also in the description wherever you're listening to this poddy right now.
So tell
That's
as
right.
many of your gaming friends to join because it puts them in the draw, but it also puts you in a difficult position because if you're in the draw and then you tell 10 others, then it decreases your chances, but it also
true.
increases their chances.
That's true.
So we want as many people as possible on this
Yeah.
page.
Yeah.
So you come and join us.
Yeah, join us in the first 7 days and you'll be an OG member.
OG, ECG for ECG.
What do we call
Nice.
them?
Yeah,
What
this
do we
thing-
call them? Like the
Yeah.
the people in the first week. Do we call them like this 7 days or something? Something to do with 7 days.
The OG CGs.
OG.
The OG CGs.
OG SD for ECG FECG.
That's the one.
There
That's
it
it.
is.
That's
That's
catchy.
the one. That's brilliant.
Sketchy.
That was terrible. We might need another one of those anyway. For those listening, by the way, we played that little sound effect and then Ellie did a burp and then we had to replay it. But we
Sorry.
chopped the burp out.
Oh, no,
no.
keep it in. Keep
Keep
it
it
in.
in.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. All right. That brings us to a close of today's episode. That didn't make sense. What are you guys playing this week?
I'm going to be playing Helldivers 2. Really enjoying it. Lots
Yes.
of fun. And
Nice.
also, I'm going to be playing a bit of Dredge because I miss playing that game.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah, fire up the
Yeah.
old PlayStation Portal, sit in bed with a cup of tea, and just fish.
Lovely.
Do some fishing.
Okay. Now, Chris, what are you playing this week? Or do you want to save that?
Well, okay, so there's multiple things that I'm playing this week. One of them is already available as a little mini episode, all right? It's of the handheld variety. Anyone that's been listening for a few weeks now will know that I've been on a journey of discovery to do with my childhood. And the journey is starting to get pretty damn hot and heavy.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, that's right. So for anyone interested in my taking apart an old Game Boy and putting it back together with all new stuff in it, modding journey that I've been on, stick around. There is another episode with a bit more detail on that. However, I will also be playing Helldivers, probably with Guy.
Nice.
And I will also be playing Spider-Man 2. I need to get that game done.
far through are
Unfortunately,
you?
Pete's...
He turns into a bit of a...
He's just started, and we'll beep that, obviously. So write down 61 minutes, 50 seconds. He has just started turning into a bit of a, but that's part of the whole Venom character.
bit of a punish.
That's just started, and I am finding it to the point now, which I hate with video games, where I'm like, I just need to finish this thing. Storyline's still great.
Okay.
But I'm just sick of being Spider-Man. I've been in for so long now.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. What about you, Ellie? What are you playing?
Just to clarify, there's going to be an episode out right now as we speak about
Right now.
your Game Boy adventures, right?
But my Game Boy adventures, so
Okay.
please do tune into that.
Okay, now as it comes to me, I will be I will be playing Stray
I'm
this
already
week.
disappointed.
But I have a question to pose
No.
because essentially I've played a bit of Stray over the last week, okay? I have. Now, there's been quite an issue with the motion sickness. And at one point I had to lie down because I thought I was going to vomit.
Yeah.
And I started looking up. Essentially, okay, I sound like an absolute
No,
weak
Ellie.
bitch.
We haven't said a word.
No, but your faces have.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there going, why is this viewpoint really weird? There's a really weird Stray. The mechanics on it is the camera doesn't follow a center point. It like, if I'm trying to go straight, it flips the camera around and now I'm walking sideways. I can't explain it, but it's really disorientating. And I was getting so mad because I was trying to recorrect, and I felt so sick. I genuinely thought I was going to vomit. It's the most motion sick I've ever actually felt.
Jeepers, can you turn that off in the options?
No, so I've looked in the settings and I've fiddled with some stuff. Nothing's fixing it. So then I went on my trusty old Reddit just to see, like, is this viewpoint just a flaw in my game or what?
Yeah.
I found multiple threads on Reddit saying that people who never experience motion sickness in their life are experiencing it in Stray. For some reason, it's the way that it's built. And so for someone who already gets motion sickness, it is killing me. And I'm gutted because I'm really enjoying it. So my question is, tomorrow I've got cousin Beck coming round. She's going to hold the controller and play it with me, but I'm still going to complete the game, but
Ellie,
I'm not going to play it.
Absolutely, that's
I'll
fine.
allow it,
That's
yeah.
100%
Does that
fine.
count?
Because we need a review of the game.
And I actually
Like,
genuinely want to play it.
and you'll experience it. You just won't
Yes.
be playing it.
And Cousin
Thank
Beck,
you.
as soon as you said Cousin Beck, I was all in. For
Yeah,
those
we're all in.
just joining us, Ellie's got a way more into gaming cousin who we've been sort of pushing to be part of the podcast for a while now. So if she's involved,
Yes.
and you're playing it together, that's people game like that's gaming.
Thank you. Okay, cool. Because I was just like going, oh, is this going to like not be, the terms and conditions? Was it that I had
No, it's
to hold
fine.
the controller the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay, because I actually am really enjoying Stray. I'm loving, just a little update, I'm enjoying Stray, love acting as a cat. It's really fun. But unfortunately, I'm really struggling to get past the mechanics of the field of view. I don't know why. And
that's
when
all right.
when I read that it was an issue with like multiple people that didn't feel motion sickness, I was actually, my heart sunk because I was like, damn, like this is actually an issue that I can't get over.
But did it also kind of like justify you? Did you feel a sense of relief being like you weren't the only one?
Yes, it
Because
did.
otherwise you would have been like, shit,
Yeah.
I'm on my own here.
Exactly.
What about, because
Yeah.
we talked about your seasickness playing video games in previous episodes. And we found out that
Sea
a
legs.
sea
Sea
legs,
legs.
like a seasickness pill,
They do help.
helps. So did you do that?
I haven't tried that. So I will do that when Beck comes over. I'll do that anyway because even watching her play might still make me feel
Yeah.
sick. I will do that. Man, I sound cool, eh?
I just love that you're on the gaming podcast. Meanwhile, you're like lying on the bed throwing up.
And it's not like it's like an insane like Gran Turismo race
I
or
know.
Uncharted. It's a game
It's
about
so
being a
calm.
cat.
I know.
The easiest thing in the world. And you're like, oh shit, slow down. Hang on. Oh
I know. I
god.
didn't even want to say it. I was so embarrassed.
No, that's fine, Ellie.
No,
Thank you
yeah.
for opening up.
So I'm
and-
getting a workaround. We've got a workaround
Yeah.
in place.
No, we appreciate it.
I will be finishing. I want to finish the story. I want to finish the game. I really do want to do a review. But
Yeah,
Beck
next
will
week.
be holding the controller.
Next
So-
week, we'll have a regular ECG episode and a little bonus episode, which will be a review of Stray, courtesy of Ellie and her
Correct.
cousin Beck.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just get Beck to write the review as well. What do you
I mean,
reckon?
I'd
Get her to
prefer
come
that.
in and we'll record the podcast. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for listening for another week as per. And like Chris mentioned before, if you want to listen to the bonus ep we've got out right now, listen to it next. It's only, 10 minutes?
I don't know. We haven't done it yet.
God, I hope so.
It's only like 40 minutes.
Same.
See you next week.
Bye.